speaker he's from Australia. So we met him in LA late February, and then we participated in his live presentation. It was so incredible. So we like to share with everyone, even though this is part of the clip is the live capture, the other part is from YouTube, but still his story is so amazing. I just want to warn again to all the people you are looking at this clip right now. When he say about something related to the hospital, there's some graphic is really bloody, I would say. So if you are not able to see those kind of bloody picture, please take your eyes off the camera or just listen to the audio, okay?
Awesome is that screen? Hey, they're falling down the stairs. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, I always give the clients the option as to whether they want the gory version or the really gory version. Guess which one you're getting? Yeah, the really gory version. And it felt like every aspect of my life was controlled, and it really weighed hard on me. And I think sometimes we forget how hard it is to grow up because you have no frame of reference. You're dealing with all of these things and confrontations for the very first time in your life. And some of us, including me, I did not deal with it very well. And I started to rebel against it all. And I started to do self-harming. I started slashing my arms up because it felt like that was the only control I had in my life, to inflict pain on myself. And I realized that something had to change, or I was going to be dead or in jail by the time I was 23. And that wasn't a very bright prospect, you know. And so I did the only thing that I could think of. I decided to remove myself from this environment that I'd become a product of. And I threw everything that I owned into this tiny little car that I had no license for. And I headed off to the bright lights of Brisbane, 12 hours north. And my friend Matt had a job waiting for me up in Brisbane behind the bar in a strip club. And I struggled, understandably. But I did have one thing in my corner. I didn't have a choice. I had no home to go back to. I had no money. I had no skills. I wasn't employable anywhere in hospitality. Everything I owned was locked up somewhere else on the base. So instead of rebelling against the situation, instead of trying to run away from my circumstances and start again, I tried a new tack because that wasn't working. Instead, I tried to change the way that I perceived the situation. And I will be forever grateful to the Army for not just teaching me how to be a real man and a valuable member of society, but allowing me to serve my country. And I thought to myself, what's stopping me from being one of those guys? What's stopping me from being someone that people in my industry look up to? And a lot of times we ask ourselves these hard questions, and they're not hypothetical. The harder the question, the more it deserves an answer. 70% of my course quit, most of them on the first day. I lost 15 pounds, but I passed. And in doing so, not only did I discover my dream job, I discovered my dream life. And I was doing that job for 4 years. Started in 2005 when I changed from the Army. And in 2009, February 2009, me and 3 of my mates were doing a counter-terrorism exercise in Sydney Harbour. And so I turned around and looked down and came face to face with a massive shark's head. Not what I was expecting. Literally my worst nightmare. I was terrified of sharks. There's only 2 things I was deathly afraid of in life: sharks and public speaking. You never know what life has in store for you. But what do? I'd never even seen a big dangerous shark. And all of a sudden it's attached to my leg. And then my survival instincts kicked in. And I thought, I've seen the crocodile hunter. I've seen Shark Week, I'll jab it in the eyeball. So as it shook me, it was sawing the flesh out of my body. And towards the end there, I just thought, I'm dead. I'm not going home today. I'm going to die right now. And I thought, am I ready to die? And I thought, you know what? I've lived 10 lives in these 31 years. I've done more than I could have ever imagined, more than I deserve. I have no regrets. If I'm going to die, I'm good to go. And a calm washed over me, and I let go. Anyway, the guys in the safety boat later told me that I was swimming through a pool of my own blood, and it was so thick when they got in close they could actually taste it in the air. His training taught him that I was going into cardiac arrest. So he straddled me and he gave me what we refer to as a series of short, sharp jabs to the chest to stimulate my heart. And it worked. I woke up and I looked over. My hand was gone, freshly ripped off by a shark. And I looked up and Tomo was beating the shit out of me. And I just thought, today sucks. But eventually they did get that pain under control, and I was laying in my hospital bed thinking, what now? I was living the dream. And I fought tooth and nail to create that dream, and 10 seconds was going to take it all away from me. I'm just a simple guy. I like simple choices. And a lot of times in our lives, as humans do, we overcomplicate potentially simple decisions. So that day I realized I had a simple choice to make. A choice that we get to make every single day. What do I want? Do I want a good life or do I want a shit life? Simple. Again. And that drove me to stay off of the Oxycontin, the Endone, the Gabapentin, the Temazepam. I had a big wooden bowl. I could self-administer everything I wanted. And I got off those drugs in half the time that I was supposed to because of that lesson that I regretted. And a lot of the times we have those pasts in our lives, those things, those moments, those times we regret, but they can be amazingly powerful lessons to help you in your present and your future. But having one leg and one hand can really throw out your bench press and squats. But the Army taught me way, way back in basic training a very important mantra, and it stayed with me through my whole career. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. With that in my mind, there wasn't anything I couldn't do. If you don't have 2 legs for squats, does that mean you skip leg day? You never skip leg day. 1-legged squats all day long. You improvise, adapt, and overcome. There is nothing that we are going to encounter in our lives that we can't go over, around, or straight through with the right tools. And sometimes that right tool is just the right mindset. You will never be a clearance diver again. And I did it in 6 months. Impossible. Impossible is bullshit. Impossible is what other people tell themselves so they don't have to get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is where we grow. You cannot strive to be your best person, your best human, your best physicality, your best anything without getting uncomfortable, because that's where we grow. We thrive under pressure. Learn to embrace it. Learn to enjoy it. Use it as a motivator. It's incredible what we can achieve. That is the strength of the human spirit. That is what we are all capable of. I've seen it in myself, and I've seen it in so many other people. We can achieve far more than we give ourselves credit for, and we don't have to wait for extenuating circumstances like that. We can do it whenever the hell we want by just making that simple choice. I share that with you to show you what is truly possible. I'm a very visual person. I like pictures and music and all that sort of stuff. And those are the sort of things that drive home messages for me. And that's why I like to do it this way. It's not a slideshow. It's so you don't have to make up in your mind the picture of what I'm saying. But I like to show that sort of stuff because it's a representation of who we can be, of what we can do, the achievements and things, because those sharks were my greatest fear. This speaking was my other greatest fear, and yet now I do it for a living. My life is so freaking good, I can't even believe that it's my life. And people always ask me, how did you stay so motivated and happy and positive? And I didn't know for the longest time until I really sat down and thought about it. And it's because I practice. How do you get good at anything? Our emotions are no different to a physical motion. We have to practice it to get better at it. Surround yourself in all of the things that you love. Give without the expectation of receiving. Practice surrounding yourself in your friends, your family, your pets, whatever it is. If you like to cover yourself in blue glitter and dance in a bowl of Jello, do that. Whatever makes you happy. Be the light that you want to see in other people. One of the most powerful things you can do. My story is no bigger or better than anyone else's here. It's just a little bit different. We all go through struggle and pain, and we all have our own stories, but we can all use the same tools. We don't have to be a victim to them. We can be survivors of them, and we can go on to accomplish incredible things.
To share this video because it's when we first look at it, so impressed. Not the body part, but also the body part too. But I think it's kind of related to Kyle just shared about actions. So think about this person. If he's not making any actions, will he become who he is today? Will he become, will he achieve what he achieved right now? You know, from a lost teenager to a Navy diver, from a shot attack survivor, want to die twice, not one time, he want to die twice, to nowadays become a Navy diver instructor, also a motivational speaker. I think this is a lot for him, a lot of actions for him to take. For us, we don't need to do everything. I mean, as Kyle said, you would not change for one day or after this thing or after one day gym. Things is you have to do it gradually. You have lots of action item. Everyone's know I have lots of things on my to-do list too. But do it one by one. Take on whatever you can take on every single day. Cam cited that too as well. He cited this morning. I mean, you just need to improve what, 1% per day. And what's the magic formula, Cam?
Yeah.
So think about how many you will become. I mean, what kind of person you will become after a year. So I think this is really very good things to share with us. Not only being a role of an agent, not only being a leader of Century 21 real estate associate here, but also everyone has their roles. You can be a father, as Kyle said, you could be a father, you could be a teacher, you could be just an employee. I mean, things are happening around us. We have a role, not only being to our normal title, but more often we have to be we have to be beyond that. Not only, as Cheryl said, you don't want to be just an agent, you want to be part of the family of your client. Same thing is here. I think nowadays, most of the agents is not doing sales. We're actually just connecting each other, building the relationship. Remember the first bullet that Kyle put up. How do you improve your relationship? You're actually putting this relationship together with your people, with your client. You be the leader. I mean, people are looking for positive attitude. People are looking for positive people to get along with, right? So I just want to share this to close out our today's sessions. There's a few takeaways for myself. This is really, I couldn't translate a better way. Improvise, I don't know how to translate in a better way. Pretty much is you take on you create from whatever on the table without preparations, no time for you to do anything. 所以这个我不知道怎么去翻译比较好一点。It's not improvement， 但是就是说你要把现在的 situation 是怎么样的 situation 你是不能改变的，这个market 你是不能 control 的，但是你能 control 的 is your actions. Things that you can control is not the market, it's not the pandemic. Things you can control is your action. As Kyle said, is your decision, right? 你今天不会整个东西会改变， but 第一件事情你可以做到的就是你的 decision， 你怎么去 make 今天的 decisions， 然后这个 decisions related to how do you adapt, right? 你怎么适应这个市场，你怎么 adapt 现在这个 pandemic 的 situation， 然后你怎么去 overcome， 你怎么去把它做成 better， 你怎么可以从这个 pandemic 过去以后，你可以 come back stronger。这个我觉得是个很重要的。So I just have a few takeaway for people to share. So first thing is you have to find out your motivations. You have to get your momentum. Then you have to find out your why. 如果你背后没有这个 why， 没有这个为什么的话，什么东西都会 fall apart because you have no why. 你的 foundation 就是你的 why. 你为什么要向前面走？你为什么要improve yourself？ 我为什么要上这个 class？ 我为什么今天会 get on 这个 video？这个也是你的 why. Find out your why. 如果你有这个 why 的话 you build on a very good foundation, first of all. 然后我们就去找这个 formula, right? You get your why. But what is the magic formula? There's no magic formula, okay? We all have to find the right tools, okay? There's lots of tools in there. But sometimes the right tool, it could be just a right mindset. Or as Kyle said, sometimes it could be just a right action. Or sometimes it could be just a right decisions for today.Right? 所以我觉得这个是很值得跟大家一起 share 我自己的 takeaway. Another point I have is you have to get uncomfortable because uncomfortable is where we can grow. You want to be stronger. You want to be the best person. You want to have the best outlook. Get uncomfortable. Get sweat. Keep running, right? Keep do your exercise. You have to get yourself uncomfortable and then grow from the uncomfortable zone to be a better person, to transform to another level. 我觉得这个是很重要的。你没有达到这个 uncomfortable， 好像 I'm on my running machine right now, okay? You know the treadmill, you have the different setting. I usually do the programming. I set myself in the mirror. I set like 1 to 10. I usually set myself to the 7, but I know I can do the 9. But I don't want to get uncomfortable. So my weights and my outfit stay the same. So I think this is kind of correlated. You have to get uncomfortable if you want to be the best out of it, if you want to grow up, right? 跟小孩子一样 same thing to my kid. 如果我不教导他们的话，他们就不会 grow up. 如果他们妈妈爸爸没有给他 hard time, 他们怎么会 grow up, right? Sometimes I need to talk to my 11-year-old. I give you too much freedom. I never give you uncomfortable hard time. Then you never grow. So sometimes I have to give you some hard time. You have to understand that. 所以这个我觉得是也是从那个Paul 跟 Kai， 我觉得很多事情上面都可以 in relate to this very basic norm that we have to take on again and again and again. So 还有2点，这个我觉得很想去share 的。Two more points I want to share is you have to overcome the adversity, embrace the change. 现在就是 change 了，现在就是跟 David， 我们那天跟 David 商量的是，现在的 real estate platform is real estate 2.0， 对不对？你要不要 embrace 这个 change？ 现在这个 system 已经 upgrade 了，你的 CPU 已经不是走这个 DOS， 你现在变成 Intel 了，你愿意 upgrade 吗 ？Are you willing to embrace that？ 如果你 embrace 你就上去了，如果你没有 embrace 你就砍不过去了。So you have to turn the fear. 当然 change has a fear, but the major thing is Kyle 第一句问的了。What's the motivation for you? The result, 对不对？你 turn that fears into your greatest strength, 然后你就会拿到 result. Your result could be an amazing life. Your result could be a 很好的 income. Your result could be a better job. Your result could be get a certificate professionally, get through your CPA license, get through your whatever license, right? So this is everything that you have to look at as a whole. 你要知道这个整体的 If you look at it differently, then you will have momentum to keep your things going on. 如果你只看到现在的痛苦只看到现在的 pandemic, 只看到现在的 change, how do you move on? How do you move on? 对不对？我觉得这个非常非常有意思。Last thing, everyone has a different struggles. I have my struggle, you have your struggle, right? 你觉得我好的地方，可能我有不好的地方，你没看到，对不对？我看到你不好的地方，你自己也有好的地方。Everyone has a different struggle, but don't be a victim of them. This is from Paul. Don't be a victim of your struggle. We all have the same tools. Use your mindset. Be stronger than your excuses. Starting today.